What do you like on your loaded potato?
I like cheese, sour cream, and then actually, let me say that again. I like a lot of bacon with a side of a loaded potato.
Have you had salsa on your baked potato? Like
No,
sour cream. You first have to put butter on the potato.
of course.
Then you have to put cheese so that it gets melted.
Little ooey
Then you
gooey.
put sour cream, and then you do like paste salsa, and it's so good.
I love that for you.
It's delicious. You have to try it. I definitely think it's a Caucasian
It's
thing.
giving me very much caucasity vibes. Something you would enjoy.
So you have to try it because it's delicious. But anyways, I don't even know how to start these.
Neither do I.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
This is the self-love series hosted by me, Cass Atiga. And today I am chatting with Ben.
Oh my gosh, I just can't even describe how honored, how happy I am to be here. This is fantastic, you guys.
We're nervous. This is our first time doing this ever.
Yes.
So it's a little filler that we're putting out there. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, the whole purpose of this self-love series that I'm doing was just putting out content to show that everybody's journey with self-love or to self-love is different. And that's okay. It's just a space for you to feel seen and not alone. And just to see that everyone gets there at different times and places in their life and in different ways. So anyways, let's get started. So
Okay.
Ben, tell us a little about yourself.
I don't know. There's not much to say. I'm a singer, songwriter, educator, facilitator, dancer, both during the day and during the night. I'm just kidding. So my name is Ben. I am 20 years old, about to be 21 in March.
Young fresh meat.
Throw me on the grill, let me sizzle. Let me think. I am a self-love advocate, recently titled. I am big and bold and
Beautiful.
beautiful in every kind of way. I don't know. I just don't know how to go
There's
about
so
introducing
much
who I am.
to say, right?
Yeah, I just want to say it all, but there's just no way to form the words. So
Okay, great. Well,
there I am. That's who I
anyways,
am.
that was pretty vague. Let's start with how I like to open up some of my intros into conversations is just you sharing some good news that's going on with you right now in your life, something that you're excited about, could have happened already, could be in the works, could be something you're manifesting. So yeah, what's your good news?
Well, my good news is that I have fully committed and fully dedicated myself to be a little entrepreneur, should I say, young, fab, fresh. As everybody knows, if you don't, I don't know where you've been, probably under a rock somewhere, like Patrick Star in the sea. But your boy is pretty good at calligraphy. It is my go-to for when I'm stressed. It's my go-to just to relax. And it's honestly just the best thing that I love to do. And it's my newly formed passion. So the new thing that I have is that I'm going to be starting by Ben Calligraphy, coming to a home near you in December.
Love that. You heard it here. by Ben Calligraphy, December 2019. Ben's so great. If you haven't seen his stuff, you gotta look him up on Instagram and follow him. We will mention his handles later on. That's a little teaser to get you through to the end.
There's a lot of handles, a lot of love handles. Gotta grab them all. I know.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Great news. So exciting. And then also, it kind of ties in with something about you, is share something that you love about yourself.
I feel like you're trying to make this very much about me, but you didn't even share yourself. Good news about what you're doing, what you're manifesting. You've got to spill it.
I feel like my good news right now, I've recently had like a big chapter of my life close. And so I feel like it's been bittersweet because I'm sad about it. But at the same time, I'm excited because I feel like it's opened a lot of possibilities and opportunities for more time in my life to focus on things that I feel called to do. Like this, something like a YouTube channel or a podcast to share content that I feel passionate about. As well as a few other things that I have been thinking about for a while now. But that would probably be my good news, is just feeling the excitement of new opportunities and time to do.
Give me a high five.
To do new things. So, I mean, I'm in charge of this, so you steered me away from what I was doing.
I'm the host.
So what is something that you love about yourself? So while Ben is thinking, part of the chapter of my life that is closing is I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And in our church, I have had a calling for the last like little over 3 years to where I oversee all of the youth girls in the group. So got super close with them, worked with them for a long time. I don't have any kids yet, so I've definitely latched onto them in that way. And so I recently have been released from that calling and no longer will be doing it. But anyways, that time frame that I did serve with those girls, that was something when somebody new came into the group. We had them introduce themselves, and that was something that I always had them do, was say that something that they loved about themselves. Because I feel like everybody can relate in that it's hard and feels less natural to think of something you love about yourself. Whereas if you're asked to name something about someone else, it's easy. It's definitely not as hard for you to think about. It just doesn't feel like natural.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I totally agree.
So I just thought it was a good exercise for them to practice at their age, and even for me too, to recognize and notice things that you do like about yourself. Maybe it's not full-blown love yet, but things that you're liking that could lead to love, or maybe there are things currently that you love about yourself. So anyways, you'll come to learn that I do this often, where I make things a lot longer than they have to be. And I've looked at the camera, and I don't think you look at cameras when you're doing this, right?
Yeah, because I've been looking over here.
I don't know. I've been looking at that, but then I have that one. So anyways, oh well. So now I gave you time. Yeah. I did that intro that was probably longer and unnecessary, but I was giving you some time. So what is something, Ben, that you love about yourself?
I feel like something that I'm learning to love more about myself physically is my gap.
Love.
I feel like it's definitely my statement for who I am. Everybody knows that I am the captain of my ship. and this is my steering wheel into my future and into my purpose and destiny.
I love that.
But yeah, I've always had such a hard time accepting my gap because I've always recognized that I'm the only person in the room with a gap. And even if I'm not, I'm looking at it as if we're the two most ugliest, like not cute people. So
You're saying if somebody else in the room has a gap,
Yeah.
you feel that you're both ugly
Yeah.
because you have one.
yeah. So if I feel like it's a newfound love that I'm trying to be okay with and accept because it makes me who I am and it makes me different. Not different, but it just sets me apart because this space between my teeth, I can always be speaking and not even be moving my mouth. So, good thing about
That's
me.
a lie. Never seen that.
I've never seen you.
But I love that. That is
Yes.
something that I totally think is you, and people can relate to that. So do you feel like, at what point did you feel it became a negative thing? Like, when do you feel like you really noticed that you had a gap and other people didn't? Or maybe do you feel like you can recall like when it became a negative thing, like not like a normal thing to have a gap to where it made you feel insecure?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there has been no like specific negative experience where people were saying things about my gap or like people were recognizing it as to be a bad thing. But I feel like over time, especially in high school, when I started realizing like that one thing that I like about a person is their smile, I just feel like I've recognized like I feel like the normal thing to recognize about somebody is that they have really nice straight teeth. And it's not normal for somebody to have a gap. So I just started realizing like I feel like I started manifesting a lot of negative affirmations about myself where I was just like, it is not normal to have this. It is not pretty to people. And I just feel like I got very like, it just got me into a very negative mindset where I was not thinking positive things about myself and I just was not looking at myself in a body positive image, especially about my smile.
So did people ever say negative things about it to you, or did you just like think of it on
No,
your own
I
that
just
it was
thought it
negative?
myself.
So you were never teased for having a gap?
Yeah, I was never teased for having a gap. Honestly, everybody would say like I am a cute person with my gap, but I didn't think that about myself. So
Your gap is like not even big either. I mean, either way, I honestly don't think, because you said having a gap isn't cute, but I honestly don't see it as a negative thing. Like I don't,
Yeah.
but that goes into play. Like everyone could relate. Like that's your personal thing you've struggled with, and obviously now you're coming to love and accept it,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But I feel like everyone has that thing to where they're either like teased about,
yeah.
and it grew from there, or they just personally built that insecurity after comparing themselves to others.
Yeah.
For myself, that same thing was my mole. I mean, at one point I only had one, but now this one, which just came through towards the end of my high school, and it's just grown like
Here it is.
no one's business. So now I have like 3 prominent ones on my face, but before it was just the one that I have here on my forehead. And I feel like I never thought anything negative of it or anything until until it became a topic
Yeah.
to kids at school. Like since, I'm trying to remember when like the first time was that it was brought up. I don't remember like elementary, maybe it ever being brought up. I feel like I maybe heard kids like under their breath where all I would hear was mole, and then they would try to like be quiet about it to not
Yeah.
like make it obvious that they were talking about it, and then I would just try to block it out because I would get super nervous and insecure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it started more so in junior high, and people like bringing it up. I feel like one time this girl came up to me and was like, what is that on your face, like in between your eyes? Like honestly, I feel like we're old enough
Dare.
to know
Yeah.
what the freak it is. So I was like, what? And she's like, what is that? I was like, well, I swear I probably said a beauty mark because my mom,
You gotta come through
I don't
Marilyn
even know if it
Monroe.
was my mom. I think it was honestly Ben's mom. If you don't know, me and Ben are first cousins. Ben's mom and my dad are brother and sisters. But I feel like it was Ben's mom and some of my other aunts that like always told me it was a beauty mark, like reinstilled that in me. And then my mom always did it growing up. So I was like, it's a beauty mark. And she acted like she did, like, how did you get it? Like, where did it come from?
I bought it from the store.
Literally, Xandria, I don't appreciate your question.
Can you channel that energy towards yourself and walk away?
And she was more so like a cute, popular girl, I feel, of our grade. So I definitely felt triggered
Yes,
by that statement. And then not too long after, also my junior high period, I was dating this kid. And anytime we would like talk on the phone and his friends were over and they would ask him who he was talking to when they would come over, and he would say he was talking to me, they would all like make mole jokes. I swear I was forever just someone to poke fun at after the Austin Powers movie with the mole jokes. Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
I don't, but I can imagine.
So yeah, they would always make the Austin Power jokes, laughing, talking about my mole in the background, and I'm just sitting on the other line like...
I can hear you.
Yeah.
How
and then
rude.
I remember one time at girls' camp, even, that me and my sisters were like walking to our tent at night, and there was a group of other girls that were in their tent, and as we were walking by it, they were talking about how I would be so much prettier. And this was like the first time of then, I've had this said several times to me, but they were saying how I would be prettier if I would get my moles removed. Like they don't know why I wouldn't do that.
My
and
gosh.
I would be prettier. So it was definitely something I was always insecure about. And so I was like set and determined that once I was like older and made my own money, like after 18, that I was going to like get it removed.
Yeah.
Because I just always thought, kind of like you just would see people's like perfect smiles and that's what you thought in your mind. Like no gaps, straight teeth, that kind of thing was what was your idea of beautiful. For me, it was just like clear skin and no moles, like nothing. And so, yeah, that was always something I had. And then I remember like as I got towards that age and I brought it up to like my mom or my sisters and some of my family members and close friends, like everyone was like, no, that's what makes you like you wouldn't look like yourself if you didn't have it. And I even
what is going on?
I even photoshopped like pictures removing it to see how it would look.
Please disregard
so rude
that well, that was my alarm to say my affirmations, so I apologize.
I love that. If you do not have an alarm yet, an alarm schedule to remind you to recite your affirmations, get on it, right, Ben?
Yeah, hop on this train because we're on our way to self-love.
Yes. So anyways, yeah, I even like went to the extent of photoshopping pictures. Did you ever do that?
Yes.
To see what I looked like without a mole.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird, like seeing it. Like one of my sisters had even brought up, like it just looked like I had too much space between my eyebrows or my eyes without it. And so I just grew to love it. There's like foreigners that would always don't speak good English, and I know they mean well, but they would just like point at their forehead and was like, you're Indian? And I was like, I'm not Indian. I think that's the proper term is like Hindus, and I think it's like a red dot that they do religiously. But anyways, so I can relate in that sense that my mole was something I was always super insecure about growing up. And felt like I would be better or more beautiful without it. And then grew up and was like, this is me.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
I love that you're starting to love it because I do love your Gap. And one of my most favorite humans on earth has a Gap as well. Come through Kaleilani, Bloomfield.
What can I say?
with her gap. So gaps are beautiful. Moles are beautiful.
We love guacamole. And we love a good Gaptain.
Digs like that got to me. But now, see, I could say it and it doesn't hurt me one bit.
Yeah, because there's a positive aspect behind it.
Yep.
You are just...
And guess what? Like I said, one of my favorite people in the world, Kalea, my niece, she has a gap. And she already has a mole. And mine started coming through in first grade, I think, that you could like barely start to see it in my pictures. Kalea's now, I think, second. Holy smokes, second or first grade. And hers is coming through. So she's going to be the best of both worlds.
She's got best. She is living her Hannah Montana fantasy with a mole and a gap. Yep. And she's going to pull it off.
Period. So.
Yes, I love it.
Love it, Ben. Thanks for sharing that. What does self-love mean to you? And what has your journey through it been like?
Wow. I literally have never had somebody ask me what your journey is and what self-love means to you. So pardon if I'm a little
This is being
back.
Real and honest.
I don't know. I'm a little uncomfortable right now because I have to form this into words. But I feel like self-love, I feel like I don't have a specific definition for it as to like what self-love means to me right now in this part of my life right now means like accepting myself in every aspect of who I am and to acknowledge that I'm okay coming as I am and who I am into any chapter of my life, into any situation, and just trusting in that whole process.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
I would say the same. That's great.
Yeah.
And so when do you feel like you became like conscious of needing to like actively focus on and work on it? 'Cause I feel like that's when maybe not even like consciously we start kind of like our journey technically to self-love. Like when do you feel like you became aware that that's what you were struggling with and you started working and focusing on it and like trying to be like an advocate or like a hype man for it?
Yeah. I feel honestly I really can't even think of a specific time, but I can just remember like this time, not even this time last year, like last year was probably a very, very difficult time in my life that I've gone through thus far. And I feel like this kind of journey did not manifest itself until I had hit what felt like rock bottom. I feel like in almost every aspect of my life, financially, spiritually, physically, mentally, I just was not okay with where I was and who I was at that time. And a lot of it had come from, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm gonna start crying, but I feel like a lot of it came from you opening up about your self-love journey. And I feel like during that whole entire time that I was trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted and like how to get through everything, I had turned a lot to you and to try and find a lot of inspiration on how to be better and do better at everything that I'm trying to accomplish and get over. So honestly, I can say that a lot of it had started during a dark time of my life last year, and it was a lot of the tools I had grabbed from you. So
I love that. What an honor.
Here we are. I
love that. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Don't hold back to avoid tears. Don't be fake.
Don't be fucking. Let it go.
Let it out. This is the space. It's a safe space. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Let's see.
Let me just grab a little. If you guys don't know, this is a 24 karat gold straw. Not metal, it's actual gold.
From the luxury aisles of the Target dollar spot. Comes in a 3-pack, 4-pack maybe, I believe.
Sometimes it even comes in a 5-pack on Amazon, but I just need everyone to hop on that saving the turtles kind of vibe.
And I love these ones specifically because if you can't tell, but there is a white, like almost rubber tip on this one, whereas it's not completely metal.
Yeah.
I have some other metal ones, but I swear I feel like I'm going to chip my tooth at any minute. I read this article, I don't know if you read the same one, where this lady recently, like within this year, she was drinking her drink with a metal straw. Like, I think she tripped and fell, hit a pothole. I don't know what she did, but she fell and her metal straw went, I could be getting it wrong, but I think her metal straw like went through her eyeball and into her brain. So absolutely not. I mean, you want to save the turtles, but I want to save my sight and my mind.
Okay, so this is not... Get the straw if you don't want the straw to avoid death. Don't get it. Okay.
Be smart. So these ones I feel are the solution, is getting ones that have rubber, or else maybe don't drink from your straw while you're walking or you're mobile. Do it when you're sitting and there's no possibility of danger.
There you go. Get your straw with a plastic tip, or just don't get one at all.
Not plastic, that defeats the purpose.
Oh, what is it? Rubber. I meant rubber. Sorry, rubber police. Dang.
Okay, so self-care. What is like a self-care? What am I even trying to say? What's like a self-care action, or what is something that you do self-care wise that automatically like makes your vibe better? Jeez, I can't even speak. Something that automatically is like a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
You know that by doing that one thing, it's gonna like get you feeling
better
or on the mend. Can you think of something?
Self-care pick-me-up. I feel like it's kind of hard because I feel like you can do a lot of things. Especially for me, I feel like I can just find a whole bunch of different things to get my energy right and tight. But as of lately, I have been turning to, of course, calligraphy, but specifically doing like positive affirmations and doing quotes that make me feel good and that I can resonate with.
Love that.
So that has been my go-to as of lately, because I feel like manifesting positive energy, you've got to go and look for it, and you've got to find what your judges, like mine, I've got to find quotes, I've got to find affirmations, I've got to find words to make me feel good. So that's what I've been doing lately.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm such a quote person too. Anyone that follows me on social media knows that.
Quote queen.
Have a little too much like word art around my house as well. I'm trying to be more conscious of that, but I feel like for me, besides that, my thing lately, like as a self-care thing, has been podcasts. It's like an automatic go-to that makes me want to take action on things or switches my mood to be more positive. I love podcasts. So let's talk about that for a second. I'm going to have you tell me some of your favorites. I'm going to share real quick some of mine that are automatic pick-me-ups. Some of them are like newer, but since I found them, I've been like super set on them. So my first intro into podcasts, favorite one ever, is Awesome with Allison podcast. Allison's Life. Love her.
Yes.
Another one is, let's see, top 5. So Allison, the Rise podcast with Rachel Hollis.
Yes, Rachel.
Oprah's Super Soul Conversations.
Oh, I love that.
Is another great one. The On Purpose podcast with Jay Shetty, I think is.
Yeah.
And then Heather McMahon's Absolutely podcast. Absolutely Not. I love that one. So those are mine. I know that I already took some of yours.
Yeah.
But what podcasts are you loving at the moment?
I mean, literally the only two that I actively listen to is Miss Awesome with Allison and Miss Rachel Hollis and the Rise podcast. I have not actively searched to expand what I like in podcasts.
Yeah, there's so much already though in Rachel's and Allison's, so it's like...
Yeah, and I feel like especially with where I'm at right now, a lot of the information and a lot of the like positive energy I can get is from those two podcasts. Yeah. So I just have to like find what I like and what I don't like.
I love it. My next recommend, because I feel like me and Ben vibe on so many different levels. We have a lot of the same things like in common or that we love and are interested in.
Yeah.
But if you had to like incorporate a new one, I would suggest Oprah's Super Soul Sundays. Super Soul Conversations on Sundays.
You know what is so funny? I literally called you Oprah earlier today. So I'm not surprised that this is your suggestion.
That's funny. I love her so much. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Her most recent one, just as of Tuesday, is with Lady Gaga. So that's a must.
Lady Gaga, you are my queen.
About healing through kindness. So anyways, Oprah's voice just, I'm at a spa.
Soothing to the soul.
I love it. So I love that. So that's, if you are listening or watching this and you feel like you are trying to think of a self-care item, maybe yours is something different, but something to try if you haven't. Ben, where do you get your quotes that inspire you that people could look? Because I have a lot of people DM me sometimes like, where do you get all your quotes? Like, I love your quotes. Do you get that?
I do. I have a lot of people that comment and say like, wow, I really needed this. Where can I find it? Mm-hmm. I always am exploring on Instagram, finding different people to follow that I find are right for what I need and for what I need to hear. So honestly, you just gotta go out and find it.
Yeah. So you just search through Instagram.
Yeah, I search through Instagram. I mean, if not, I'm always on your quotes. And then it's just a ripple effect from there.
Yeah. Same. I find mine from there, but I feel like the OG of where I get all my quotes is from Pinterest. I feel like if there's some sort of inspiration in a certain area that I need, I just search that and like whatever quotes on Pinterest. And then like I still have so many saved in my camera roll. I swear I'm always think to myself like one day I just need to like organize all my quotes in certain like categories and albums. And then I just need to literally start posting them each day or see if I'm over the quote and delete it.
Yeah.
Because it gets out of control when you're a quote lover.
It's a little overwhelming.
But yes, so that's a suggestion. Look up some quotes, recite them, read them, journal them of why they speak to you.
Yes.
That definitely works for me as well. Or also podcasts, if you're already into podcasts and you haven't listened to ones that we suggested, highly suggest those. And yeah, that.
And may I include, for those of you who do not utilize Instagram as like an active place for you to like find these kinds of quotes and like find these kinds of people, you need to hop on it, because Instagram has honestly been my melting pot of where I find little accounts of gold where people just are posting about exactly what I want to hear and in that exact moment. Yeah. So I feel like people also need to be active in finding people that speak to them.
Yeah. I feel like in this day and age, like of social media, it could be definitely like a negative, dark place, but it can also be like your main source of motivation and inspiration. Yeah. Depending on your life and your day-to-day schedule. Yeah. So I think it's all what you make it. You can fill it with content. You fill it with content of your choice.
Yeah, we even spoke about this a couple weeks or a couple days ago, where we were unfollowing people that were not necessary to what we wanted to see and what we wanted to view. And so I feel like you for sure create the space that you want and you create the content that you want to be and see. Yes. So I love it.
I agree. I feel like people need to like do that more, like be more on top of what you follow, who you follow. Like we've said before, If you want to keep it cute, put it on mute.
Yes.
If you're nervous to unfriend someone because you're maybe close family or friends, you know they might get offended. I get it. I'm there with certain accounts. You just can mute them, you know, to where you still want to be friends. But maybe their content isn't something that gives you the best positive vibes.
Yeah.
Or you find yourself being irritated seeing.
There it is, people. If you're muted by Cass Atiga,
Quit it. I know you have muted account.
You're irritating and you suck.
No.
Just kidding.
But I feel it's definitely necessary. Unfollow or mute.
Yes.
Ben, what is you have to pick one.
Okay.
What right now in your life at this moment is your top self-love anthem?
Oh my gosh, that is
One
not even a
song.
question. Coconut Oil by Lizzo. Period.
And why?
Point blank.
Why do you think? Because Lizzo has like every single song is just self-love.
Anthem.
Yes.
Period.
So why is that song specifically right now for you, do you feel?
Aside from the lyrical content and from how the song sounds, her message is mostly just about self-care and to use things, like her overall message in it is just to use something that you know you'll always be able to fall back on for positive energy and for love. Coconut oil in itself, she uses it for her hair, she uses it for her skin routine, she uses it to make her skin look glowy, and in all of that just helps her love herself. And me, my coconut oil right now is Doritos. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, so it was your dang Dorito crumbs on my rug. Literally?
Yes, but
I can't.
that is aside from the point.
So Doritos is your coconut butter right now.
Yeah, is my coconut oil, which it should not be. Someone's a little hungry. Hasn't had dinner yet, but yeah.
My gosh.
I just love
that.
it so much.
I love
Take care
that.
of yourself.
Yes, period. What is my coconut oil at the moment?
Yeah. What can you bump in the car, bump when you get home, bump in the shower? Who is your go-to?
I mean, Lizzo's definitely been it for me lately. I haven't listened to like a ton of music lately because I've just been like listening
And that
to
podcast.
But like definitely at the top of my self-love anthems playlist is Lizzo right now. Lizzo and some Beyonce.
Yes.
So
that is literally me. I love it.
But I love the whole thing of what you brought up of the coconut oil.
Yeah.
Of how it benefits her in all the different ways, makes her feel beautiful. And Doritos right now is what is for you that makes you feel beautiful.
Doritos is my comfort and it's also my discomfort.
Oh my gosh.
It's so bad.
Speaking of something that makes you feel beautiful, right now I came into this not feeling as much such. This is my and mine, I was going to say, first, like I said in the very beginning, episode that we're recording today, and I fully had in mind to look cool, calm, collected, cute.
But here we are.
Comfy. But here I am with my hair not done, up in a bun, with my glasses, no makeup on.
I have the same vibe.
My pants are too tight, the button's undone, you can't see. But hey, when you have a goal and a mission, you just have to make it happen.
Yes.
You have to just show up and love yourself.
Yeah.
So that's been my coconut oil lately, is just not giving myself like not giving myself like the requirements or like expectations, I guess, in order to be able to show up in some way, that I have to look a certain way. Like I'm expected to be this or that in order to be seen or feel beautiful.
Yeah.
Lately, I've really just been working on, if I like a style, I'm going to wear it. I don't care what size I am, how much I weigh, or my shape. I'm going to wear it, make myself feel cute. If I'm not done up, but I want to do something where other people are going to see me, I'm just going to push through. It doesn't mean that I don't feel uncomfortable and hesitant at first, but I've just been working on just still doing it and pushing through. And if you haven't done that before, especially picking like a fashion item that you're really loving at the moment and just rocking it and wearing it with confidence and like no apologies. It's weird because I never would have thought of it before, but when you do it, there's like so much power in that. Have you done that before?
No, not at all. This is why
you need to do it.
I know. I am just living for this confidence because I don't feel. Honestly, I believe that a lot of plus-sized people feel like they can't be comfortable in wearing what they want and also being comfortable with being confident at the same time because of us being big and clothes not being cute enough or comfortable enough. So this is very much inspiring me to be okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It's payday today.
It is payday.
I need you to think of something. Well, obviously, we've already talked about what our budgets are, what we have to put our money towards this check. But that's what I'm going to challenge you to, Ben.
Okay.
For the next little while, I want you to really be mindful and conscious of maybe a trend that you loved and wanted to try, but you felt like you couldn't do it because of this, that, and the other. And I want you to do it.
Okay.
When you're available.
And I'm going to commit to not making it an outrageous challenge because I'm not going to go out there and be like skinny jeans and tights.
He's going to pull up in a full drag.
I'm going to pull up in a full
lipstick,
kimono.
Wig, heels.
And I'm going to be like, this is what you challenged me to. Yes.
Hey,
okay.
Whatever it is to you, do it.
Period.
But it's something that's so simple and small, but I honestly and truly can say when you do it, it feels great.
It's empowering.
Yes. So if you haven't done that either, just like Ben, give it a try. Let us know your experience, what it was. Maybe we'll share it in like a next upcoming episode, but it's amazing. And I definitely suggest that if you've never done it before. Before we end, last question to ask you, Ben, and it is a little bit maybe deeper of one, but it could be as long as you want or as short as you want, and that is, what is advice you would give your younger self? Being where you are now, the age you are now, what's advice you would give your younger self, let's say maybe 5 years ago, 15-year-olds.
Ooh.
Benjamin.
Yikes.
Or maybe even if that's too hard, maybe either 15-year-old Ben or maybe even Ben a year ago when you were really struggling. 19-year-old Ben. What's the advice you would give now being where you are?
I feel like the advice that I would tell myself a year ago, even 5 years ago, would be to do not be afraid to express yourself and to figure out who you are. Because I feel like I'm a very impressionable person. Like if I see somebody that I can gravitate towards and be like, I will totally try and be that person almost in every way, shape, or form. And I feel like that was really detrimental to my growth, even in high school, even in junior high, because I was always looking to be somebody else than myself. And I feel like it's because of a lot of aspects that I am. Like, I'm Tongan. I'm also a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I am also gay. I feel like there were a lot of expectations and a lot of standards that I thought I had to abide by, which I didn't realize at the time that being myself and expressing who I am has allowed me to feel more free in those aspects and has allowed me to grow so much. So I feel like I would tell myself to not be afraid to be who you are and to be okay with figuring it out. So
I love that.
yeah.
Love it. Great answer. Well, Ben, thank you so much for all of your amazing insight per usual. I know doing this, Ben was the first person I wanted to sit down with and go over ideas with and discuss with, because he is somebody that just exudes self-love and acceptance, which is what I'm all about at this point in my life. If you don't follow him, you know that he's just always a hype man. Everyone's best hype man, always makes you feel good, positive energy. And I just knew that he needed to be on here. So, because like I said in the beginning, the purpose of this podcast is just to share just stories of people's self-love journeys, how they got there, where they're at, things that help them, to better help you through your journey as well to loving yourself better or more. And so, Ben, if people don't already, where can they find you?
Well, for all of my people who want to grab onto these love handles, my handle for Instagram is at It's Bigga Ben. IT is a BIGGA, 3-letter word BEN. Period. Find me on Instagram and Snapchat. Those are honestly the only two that I utilize, and that's where most of my content is at.
Love that. Is your Snapchat the same?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Love that. So follow Ben. Great, amazing quality. He's in the works right now of his calligraphy specified page. So stay tuned for that via his main Instagram page, like he said, at It's Bigga Ben.
Period.
And you can find and follow me at Cass Atiga on Instagram. That's at CASSIDI, not a Y, and NAE. I don't post a lot of content on my Snapchat, so I don't care to give that one out right now because Instagram isn't as great because I feel like you have to follow people back in order for them to follow you. That might be rude to say, but that is what it is. That's how I feel. So do you just follow me on Instagram?
If you want to follow a leader, you know where to go.
So anyways, thanks for listening to our ramble. Again, this is our first time, so we were a little bit nervous, but hope you got something out of it and all the self-love and light.
Yes. If you are wanting to be a part of the self-love club, tune into this podcast, period. And if you want to be a self-love advocate, this is where you're going to start. So,
yes.
Wow. Okay.
Cut.
No, you've got to let it out in a bang.
What do you mean? That was it.
Till next time.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe, share, comment.
Repost, turn on those bell notifications. DM this to your friends, family, and foes. And get my girl Cass her coin.
And Ben.
Period. Have a wonderful day. Love you.